Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a good day to our lecturer, Professor Madya Dr. Intan Safinas Binti Muhammad Ariff Albakri. Today we are from Group B5. We'll be presenting the reflection on a lesson conducted the other day. Our group members consist of me, the presenter, Putri Hanani Binti Samsuri, Michelle Chang Suet, Shakhina Binti Zainuddin, Hermione Welfred, and Marinah Binti Abdul Rachman. Our presentation is divided into three parts. The first one is the weaknesses, the second one is the strengths, and the last one is the challenges. We will analyze the weaknesses in our lesson. The first aspect is the materials used in teaching. What really happened is I am a bit frustrated with the material I use for today's class. Some of the students could not access into the materials and they were not able to follow the lesson fully. What really happened is I realized that some of my students were facing with poor internet connection due to the area they lived in, or they cannot afford internet packages that is suitable for a student. So I have learned that not all students have the access to the internet and to browse the materials or other things in the exam moment I was teaching them. So my suggestion is, in the next classes, offline materials should be used more often so that the students could access the material easily and they can follow the lesson better. The second aspect is the students' responses to the materials used. I'm a bit afraid that students could not stay focused on the context of the material used. It caught my attention that students are more attracted to the decoration of the materials than the context itself, so the students lose their focus in class. I have learned that if there are too much unnecessary things in the material used, such as the decorations or too many bright colors, it will distract the students. So I suggest that for the next classes, materials with less decoration and soft colors will be used more often. It will help students to pay more attention on the main context. The third aspect is the flow of the lesson. The thing is, there were quite a lot of awkward silence moments during the lecture. For example, in the beginning of the class and during the transitions of activities. The reason is there were no background music during the activities, no response from the students, and lack of interaction between the teacher and the pupils. So I have learned that students won't warm up to me unless I initiate it first. I should find ways to make the classroom atmosphere better. My suggestion is I should try to ease the tension during the class by making small casual talk with my students from time to time. I should also make sure to have background music when playing quizzes. And the last aspect for this part is the timing or time allocation for the stages. I stalled a little bit at the beginning of the class, thus I wasted a few minutes there. This might due to the reason that I was having an internet connection problem and the presenter didn't set up the slides on time. During the class, internet connection plays the most important role. That is what I have learned. If I have a problem with it, my class won't be conducted smoothly. My suggestion is I should make sure that my internet connection is stable throughout the whole class. If I need to cooperate with my peers during the class lesson, we should prepare everything earlier. So we will go to the second part with the strengths. The first aspect is the material used in teaching. What really happened is I am very satisfied with the material used in today's class as they were all suitable. I noticed that the material that I used were compatible with the skill I was focused on, which was listening comprehension. I've learned that students can understand the lesson easily when it comes to with compatible and suitable teaching material. In the next classes, I would use more materials like this for today's classes, so in that way, students can understand better on the upcoming lessons. The second aspect is students' responses to the material used. I am very glad that the students reacted positively toward the material used in the class. I also noticed that students complimented a lot on how energetic, fun, and easy to understand how the materials were. I have learned that students are more attracted and can understand the lesson more if I use decorated and energetic materials. So my suggestion to improve myself is I would use more materials like this for the next classes so my students can comprehend the upcoming lesson better. The next aspect is the lesson objective and success criteria. And yes, Alhamdulillah, the lesson objective were met and the success criteria were achieved as planned. All of the students successfully answered 5 out of 7 questions correctly from the audio and answered 8 out of 10 questions correctly from quizzes. I learned that it is not necessary to give a hard and complicated questions to the students all the time because they are still learning. This is a learning process. And I suggest that next time I can prepare more relevant questions or activities for them to improve their understanding. The next aspect is strategies used in teaching. The strategies that have been used in today's teaching have received quite a good response from the students. All students were able to understand the task after viewing the slides, and I noticed that the slides were appealing and well organized, which attracted the students' attention. Next is the listening exercise on ESL Lounge website. The platform was easy to use and easily accessible. Students were able to carry out their listening exercise smoothly. Lastly, the quiz on the past tense using quizzes and the homework on left worksheet help students to recap on the lesson, which is past tense. And next time, I should incorporate different learning strategies to help students to engage in the lesson and have a better understanding. The next aspect is students' responses to the strategies used. The students were delighted with an array of strategies used in the teaching. The slides were simple but informative. Students were able to understand the instruction given. I realized that students find it interesting to use a new learning platform, which is the ESL Launch website. It is also easily accessible as well as the students were able to participate without facing any difficulties in completing the listening exercise. The students enjoyed the quiz and quizzes as they could play with their friends, which made the lesson more fun and interactive. The live worksheet homework enables teachers to keep a record of the students' achievements. So next time, I suggest that I would make use a different learning platform to diversify my teaching strategies. The next aspect is the flow of the lesson. I succeeded in explaining the classroom activities precisely. I informed clearly about the instruction and the success criteria for each activity, for example, the number of questions, the duration of the audio, and many more. I should increase my interaction with my students and ask them about their preferred activities or what I can do to improve their engagement in the classroom so I can improve myself too. And the second last is the timing or time allocation for the stages. I managed to finish all the class activities in the time given. I was also able to discuss all the answers in the live worksheet and quizzes. I also managed to give ample time for the students to answer all the questions. What I need to do to improve is to optimize the lesson duration given to me in each class so there will be not any second wasted in the future. Thus, I should plan my lesson activities better. And the last aspect for this part is sequencing of the lesson. The stages of the lesson activities were well planned and it was sequenced appropriately. Students get all the important points of the lesson, which was the past tense and listening skills. They can respond well to any question that I ask. And what I've learned is it is important to create a proper sequence lesson plan to achieve the lesson objective and success criteria. And we have reached to the last part of the presentation, which is the challenges. The first one is we, the teacher and the students, have a problem with the internet connection. Sometimes some students and even the teacher accidentally left the class due to poor internet connection. Number two, Some students cannot open their cameras due to internet problems, so I am not sure if the students are really paying attention or not. And the last one, it is hard to attract students' attention as they may be easily distracted with whatever going on with their surrounding. Hence, I am not truly sure whether they can comprehend 100% of my lessons during that day. So that's all from us. Thank you for listening.